Hey everyone, what's going on? It's Calamity here to bring you another episode of the Anything Goes podcast. Today we have a lot to go over. It's been a long time. We're going to go over some Marvel news stuff. Going to go over the new Spider-Man that dropped a few months ago. Some NFL, MLB, some Call of Duty, some basketball. We got a lot to go over today. So, we are going to start out with the Super Bowl, which was between the Rams and the Bengals. Not really going to cover the playoff stuff because this would just take too long. But in case, I'm sure everyone saw it, but in case you didn't, there's going to be a lot of spoilers in here. Not even for the Super Bowl, just for shows and movies and stuff that I've been watching and that we should go over. But anyway, the Super Bowl, the Rams won 23-20. Cooper Kupp ended up being the MVP. It was a really good game. There was some unfortunate calls for the Bengals at the end. There was only one that was really controversial that kind of helped the Rams win. I wasn't really like rooting for anyone this Super Bowl. I like the Rams. I like Stafford. And I like most of the players on the Rams. But I also like Joe Burrow and Joe Mixon and Jamar Chase. So I was happy either way. It didn't really matter to me. I know Joe Burrow will probably get back to another Super Bowl. Stafford and the Rams, don't really know how that's going to look next year because a lot of their players were on a 1-year kind of deal. But yeah, it was a good game. Cooper Kupp had 2 touchdowns, I believe, and I think he had just under 100 yards receiving. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's where he was. Otto Beckham Jr. got hurt. Unfortunately, it does look like he suffered a torn ACL, and then the same knee that he had previously torn an ACL, which is not good to hear, especially for him. He's on one of those 1-year deals, so he could maybe run it back with the Rams at a cheaper price because he was injured. I think he'll miss probably the first 6 weeks. I think I heard is kind of a timeline for it. Another storyline from that game was the offensive line for Cincinnati was pretty bad. He was sacked. Joe Burrow was sacked a lot, and I think it came out the other day that he was sacked a total of 70 times this whole season, which is an absurd amount. I think that was the 3rd most in NFL history. That's crazy to me because when you get sacked a lot, I feel that your confidence kind of goes down in what you can do. You're having to throw the ball quicker. You have to make decisions a whole lot quicker, and sometimes they're not going to be the right decision because you have to do it so quickly. But Joe Burrow held his own. They had the lead in the Super Bowl for quite a while, and it wasn't looking good for the Rams until the very end, where the Bengals defense kind of threw the game a little bit. But like I said, that one call that was kind of controversial. I think it was a holding call technically. It was either holding or pass interference, but I'm pretty sure it was holding at the goal line, which gave the Rams a new set of downs, which they ended up scoring on, which gave them the lead instead of tying it. Yeah, it was a whole, I think tying it. But it was a whole. It was a bad way to end. But Stafford gets his first ring. Cooper Kupp. Everyone on the Rams, I'm pretty sure, gets their first. And it's been, I think, the last time the Rams were in the Super Bowl. Yeah, the Rams were in the Super Bowl. They lost to the Patriots. That was a boring Super Bowl, pretty sure. I think it was 13-3 Patriots. Just a few years ago, actually. Or at least I think it was. Might have been longer. I can't really remember because time seems to be going by a lot quicker than I think. But yeah, I think like I said, I think the Bengals will get back, or at least Joe Burrow will if he stays in Cincinnati long enough to to get one there. It's going to be interesting for them. They're going to have to work on their offensive line somehow, whether they sign people or draft people. Somehow they're going to have to improve with that, and maybe get like a piece or two on defense, because their secondary did good in the first half. And then Otto Beckham Jr. got injured, and you're like, oh, okay, like they should have this then, because they've been holding the Rams down pretty good, especially Cup. Cup didn't really do his damage until the second half. But somehow Otto Beckham Jr. going down, Cooper Kupp stepped up and was able to get open a bunch of times. So I think they're going to have to work on their secondary a little bit. The Rams, if they want to get back to the Super Bowl again, they're probably on. I mean, they're losing Eric Weddle because he's going back into retirement. Aaron Donald has thrown the word of retirement around a few times, I guess. I just heard that the other day. Otto Beckham Jr. is hurt, and technically he's a free agent, or going to be a free agent. So that'll be interesting to see what they do with wide receivers, because Robert Woods is going to be coming back too. He was injured. I don't know what their plan is going to be. I don't even know if Stafford is under contract, to be completely honest, for next year for them. I don't think he is, but I'd have to look at that. So they have to figure out some stuff if they want to get back to it or not. And then we have some big news that I'm sure everyone's heard by now, because it's been out for quite a while. I want to say a month now. But Tom Brady retires. But he has already thrown out there that he might come back. He said never say never on coming back, so that's interesting to hear. But Tampa Bay still owns his rights, so if he does come out of retirement, he would either play for them, they would trade him, or they would just straight up release him. Now what they do, I don't know. I mean, I don't even know if he'd want to come back this year. He might just wait until his rights are gone from Tampa Bay and go from there. But I don't really know how that works, because pretty sure Brett Favre, when he came out of retirement, I don't think the Packers had his rights, but I think did he go to the Jets after the Vikings or before the Vikings? I can't remember, but I think one of those teams had his rights and they had to trade him or do something. I can't really remember which team it was, but so Tom Brady hasn't ruled out coming back. I think what he'll do, and I obviously have no source on this or anything, I think he'll wait a year for his rights to be done with Tampa Bay, and then I think he'll come back for probably just a year, see what he can do. Some team will probably want him. I'm sure he'll get phone calls this year, because some quarterback will get injured through the season, or some team's quarterback signing or whatever won't turn out as good as they thought, and they'll probably call him and see what he's doing. He's going to stay in shape. That's just how he is. I mean, he's got his trainer, he's got his diet, he's got everything. He's still going to do all that stuff in retirement, I guarantee it. And so I don't think that'll be an issue. I really don't think it'd be an issue for him to come back anyways, just because it's Tom Brady. I mean, he's one of the greatest, or is the greatest player of all time. So I think him, I mean, if he was to take like 2 or 3 years off and then try and come back, I think, it would get a little bit tougher. But I think he just takes like a year off. He'll stay in shape and stuff, and he'll come back the year after, is what I think is going to happen. Where, I don't know, but because so many things could happen. I mean, Aaron Rodgers could be gone from Green Bay. Maybe they need something for a year, like a bridge quarterback, just to get them by for a year. I don't know. San Francisco, maybe. Like, there's just a lot of places that could use him. It just depends on where he wants to go and what he wants to do. And then after that, we have Aaron Rodgers gets his second MVP in a row. He was voted MVP of the season, which was pretty cool. Other than I thought Jonathan Taylor should have won it, but it's kind of a quarterback award, to to be completely honest. It usually goes to them. Jonathan Taylor did amazing thing. I mean, not that Aaron Rodgers didn't, but I just think I think they should have gone a little different with it this year, because Jonathan Taylor did amazing things for the Colts this year. I know he was in the running for a while, but I think what hurt him was, which I don't think they weigh playoffs at all, but maybe they do. But I mean, his Colts were out, or they didn't even make the playoffs. Sorry, they had a chance and they blew it. But so I think that might have hurt him a little bit, but that's not really in his control. I mean, he literally had a game where he scored 5 touchdowns this year. Like, I don't know, but oh well. Congrats to Aaron Rodgers, and we'll see what he plans on doing, if he retires or if he goes to another team or what, because he has thrown retirement around too. All right, so we are going to transition from that to, where should we go here? Let's go basketball, because there really isn't a whole lot to talk about there. There's just a few things I wanted to talk about. One is the Celtics, which is my favorite team, being that they're the most local to me. They started off struggling this year. They were looking pretty bad. And then the trade deadline came, made some trades. They started to get hot. They started to get hot a little before the trade deadline, to be fair. They piled a little win streak together, and then they made some trades. I kind of liked the trades. They got Daniel Tice back, which is always weird to me. When a team lets someone go and then trades for them, a year or two after he left, I believe. It's just why let him go then? Just bring him back. But that probably letting him go that year probably helped get someone that is probably still on the team. So I can't remember exactly what it freed up cap-wise or anything like that, but that's probably what happened. But they did those trades, and then they stacked on more to the win streak. I think they're at 9 or 10 now, and they just blew out the 76ers, which leads into my next thing that I want to talk about, which is the Nets. The 76ers made the big blockbuster trade of Ben Simmons for Harden, which it wasn't just those two, but there were some other pieces in there too, but those were the big names of it. So the Celtics just played the 76ers. They blew them out of the water. I can't remember the final score. I think it was 130 to 87 or something in that range. But it was a bad loss for the 76ers. But they didn't have James Harden. Even with him, though, I don't know. I guess I can't say, because Harden's technically hurt, and Ben Simmons is still dealing with his mental health issues, I think. So, which I think they're saying he could be back in a few weeks, I think. So James Harden was hurt for the 76ers, so that kind of played into it a little bit. You still have Joel Embiid, who is playing like an MVP right now, but they got handed a big L last night, or 2 nights ago. I can't remember what night it was. Like I said, everything's a blur now. Time's moving so fast. And the Nets got Ben Simmons, which I think will help the Nets a lot. They just got to figure out the Kyrie Irving situation, where he's unvaccinated, so he can't play in the home games right now. But I heard that could be changing soon. Those are really the only couple things I wanted to talk about. I mean, there were some other trades that went down that were interesting, like the Kings getting rid of Tyrese Halliburton, which was interesting. And there was a couple other trades, but these were the big things I want to talk about for that. Baseball, they've been in a lockout for a while now. Pitchers and catchers, I think, we're supposed to report this week. If not this week, next week. But they're not, obviously, because it's a lockout. I've heard some crazy things about some of the things that MLB, the owners, want to do that honestly makes no sense to me. But again, I'm not a billionaire. I don't know that stuff. But I've seen some things where they wanted to shorten. Was it shorten or extend? I think it was shorten the minor league schedule to make it more align with the MLB schedule, which that one I'm okay with. I also think they should shorten the schedule a little bit for the MLB, just because they play a lot of games, and I don't necessarily think you have to play that many. I would still keep it over 100, obviously, but how much you shorten it, I don't really know. But I think that would be a good idea as well. But I also heard the owners don't want to. They want to get rid of a bunch of jobs in the minor leagues that are paying jobs, obviously, which I don't obviously agree with. I think they need to do a lot of things for the minor leaguers because honestly, I don't think they get paid enough, and they kind of screw over the minor leaguers a lot. I mean, they keep them down there for a long time. They say they're developing them, but some of them could be ready for MLB ball, but they keep them down there because of the rights to the player or something. I'm confused. I don't know how it works, but and I'm not an expert on any of this at all. So, yeah, I think there's a lot more that they could do for the minor leaguers than honestly probably the major leaguers, but that's like a different issue. Supposedly talks haven't gone that great still, so we'll see where that goes. Hopefully they get it figured out pretty soon here, so baseball can start on time. And then another thing with baseball was Ryan Zimmerman retires. I think he played first. He's a third and first baseman, I think, for the Nationals for most of his career or all of his career. He was the first pick for the Nationals when they became like a team when they moved to there. He also leads the franchise, I believe, in like hits, home runs, and whatever because he was the first pick. So obviously he's gonna lead it for right now. But that's all I had for MLB. We will get into Spider-Man and a bunch of movies and series being announced recently. So get ready for spoilers if you haven't seen any of that stuff, which I hope you've seen it by now. Turn it off now and then come back a little bit later because the first thing I'm going to talk about is Spider-Man. So if you haven't seen that, definitely stop watching now. Go watch it and then come back. How about that? That sound good? All right. So Spider-Man No Way Home was an amazing movie, in my opinion. It probably was... I want to give it the title of best Marvel movie or even best like comic book movie or best like whatever. But it's hard for me to do that just because like for right now, I think Endgame would probably have that for me just because of how many characters were in that. And it was the conclusion of like 10 years or no, actually. Yeah, it was the conclusion about 10 or 11 years of watching like those movies. So like just that alone kind of still makes it the best. But I'm just going to say tie. It's a tie between Endgame and No Way Home. That might be like a hot take or whatever, but maybe it's not. I don't really know. But I would say they're tied because Spider-Man No Way Home kind of brought together like technically it brought together like 20 years of movies, even though there wasn't a movie every year. But like the first one was 2001 with Tobey Maguire, and then I don't remember when the Andrew Garfield ones came out because I hate to say it, but I never watched those ones, which I probably should have before I went to go see No Way Home. But I don't even know why I didn't go watch them when they came out. Probably just because I grew up with the Tobey Maguire ones, so I was like, it's Tobey Maguire. It's not Andrew Garfield. But from what I've seen, like, because I've seen clips of the movies that he was in, and he played fine. I mean, he was Spider-Man perfectly fine. I shouldn't have had a problem with that, but then to have them all back was really cool. Seeing all three of them together. Seeing the old villains again was really cool, like Doc Ock and the Green Goblin. And Willem Dafoe does an amazing job as the Goblin. They all do an amazing job, really, with their characters, but Willem Dafoe as the Green Goblin is amazing. And it's just a really good storyline. I mean, I like Doctor Strange and Spider-Man's like relationship. I think that was pretty funny to kind of bring in, because I feel like Doctor Strange kind of took over the Iron Man role for Spider-Man. He's kind of like his mentor a little bit. They are both in New York too, so that kind of helps. But if you guys have seen it, if you watch the end, everyone forgets about him, so that's going to be kind of interesting on how that goes in future stuff. I mean, I think Tom Holland signed on for 3 more Spider-Man movies, I think. And he's willing to play. He said he's willing to play the character forever as long as it makes sense, pretty much. But it was a really good movie. I definitely suggest watching it if you guys haven't. Even if you're not a Marvel fan, I mean, it won't be as good for you if you're not a Marvel fan. If you're not like a Spider-Man fan or whatever, didn't watch those old ones. But it's still a good movie. There's a lot of character arcs, I guess you could say, that get resolved or don't get resolved. I guess some of them don't, but yeah, I just thought that was interesting. It was a good movie. And now we're actually going to go on to where do I want to go from here? We'll go into Doctor Strange 2 because they showed the trailer for it a new trailer for it at the halftime or somewhere around there of the Super Bowl, and there's so much speculation going around right now about that movie and who's in it. I mean, obviously there's people that we know that's in it now, and we're fairly certain, if not like 100% sure, that Professor X is going to be in it because you can hear his voice in the trailer. You can't really see much. We're assuming it's him, but so yeah, there's that. There is a character in there that's fighting Wanda that looks like it could be a few different characters, and I don't know if that's Marvel editing it or like for that reason, so that we can speculate on who it is, or it's actually what they look like, because the character kind of looks like a Captain Marvel like variant, or it's is it Monica Rambeau, or it could be her, or it could be Tom Cruise's Iron Man because he has the Infinity Stones, so he may look kind of like Captain Marvel when he's flying because the Infinity Stones give off that like glow to them. And he's supposedly the most powerful Iron Man. So there's that. Let's see what else there's there. So we see Doctor Strange being like, he has like handcuffs on. He's walking up these stairs surrounded by Ultron bots, or they look like Ultron bots. And he's led up to where like there's this big, I don't want to say stage, but it's kind of like what they're on. And there's 5 chairs, so we're all assuming that's the Illuminati, which technically Doctor Strange was a part of, I think in the comics. And you can see figures in the chair, but you can't really see like who they are. And there's one that's being blocked by like Doctor Strange's head, and we think that's where Professor Xavier is going to be. Did I say Professor X? Let's go with that. Is supposed to be. But there's the figure on the left. It looks like it could be one of 2 people. It looks like it could be Black Panther, which that to me doesn't make sense because I don't believe he was in the Illuminati. But it definitely does look like he has like the necklace, like the necklace thing that kind of turns into the Black Panther, and it kind of looks like the Black Panther a little bit. But it also looks like it could be Reed Richards of the Fantastic Four, because there is a symbol. I think is it on this side? If I'm sitting that way, yeah, it's on this side, and it looks like it's like white, kind of like the Fantastic Four symbol on the chest, which that would make more sense because he is actually in the Illuminati, at least as much as I know, or as far as I know. So there's him, and then other people I'm trying to picture it in my head because I don't have it on my on my computer right now, but what the other figures were. I think one of them was, people were suggesting, was the is it Supreme Iron Man, the Tom Cruise's Iron Man, they thought was up there. Professor X, who were the other people? I can't remember off the top of my head. I try to get all this stuff in my notes before I go live, so that way I know, but I didn't go back and look at any of the pictures. But so there's that stuff, and then they released a new poster where it's Doctor Strange. Actually, before I even go into the poster, so it looks like you see either Wanda and Doctor Strange kind of going through different universes. One kind of looks animated, that people have like slowed down or like taken a photo of or whatever, or a screenshot of. And it looks like it's an animated universe, and people are thinking that could be the way they tie in X-Men, because the X-Men they've had a few animated series, I believe. But it looks like one specific one, I can't remember the name of it, but it had Professor X in it. Obviously it's X-Men, whatever. But so there's that. What else? They also look like they go into a universe where they but they fight or do something with zombie Wanda and zombie Doctor Strange. So that's kind of interesting. There's also evil Doctor Strange, who we saw in the first like teaser trailer. What else? It's going to be a crazy ass movie, and it's probably going to beat No Way Home in my opinion, just because, again, there's more characters in it. There's more like variants of people, and you possibly bring in the X-Men. Like, that's just like an insane amount of stuff to do in one movie. So there's all that. So now I can get into the poster that came out. There's a new poster that came out for Doctor Strange 2 where it's Doctor Strange and it looks like he's like breaking glass. But if you look in the shards of the glass, you can see images of other people. So you can see like Wong, you can see Wanda, you can see, I think, one of the variants of Doctor Strange. So like pretty much all the stuff that's been confirmed you can clearly see. But then in the smaller shards, you can like see kind of blurry images. Not blurry, but they're just so small it's hard to make out. One of them looked like it was Captain Carter's shield from the What If show, which was animated, but I think they're probably going to make it live action now. I don't know. But it was definitely her shield in that one. That one was smaller, so it was harder to see, but you can definitely see it. I believe there was a Deadpool one. That one took me a long time to find. Like, I knew where it was, or at least to see Deadpool in the shard was kind of hard for me to see. I had to go on Twitter and have people were like telling like in the comments of the picture like how to look at it and like what it actually is. Supposedly it was him going like this, saying like be quiet about something, which I still couldn't really. I could like barely see that. So I don't know. That's kind of like a speculation on what is going to happen. So they're thinking Deadpool is going to come in, Captain Carter. I think there was rumors of Wolverine coming in, but it was Daniel Radcliffe as Wolverine. That's just a rumor I saw. I don't know if there's anything to that. I did see that on Twitter, though. And again, Twitter's not, always the most truthful. But anyway. So there's all that stuff going to happen in Doctor Strange 2, and it's going to be an absolutely nuts show. Or, did I say show? Nuts movie. God, what's wrong with me? Anyway, so we go to that. We'll go from that to Moon Knight, which that trailer came out. That show looks like it's going to be absolutely insane as well. It kind of looks like a psychological thriller kind of show, but it's also going to be extremely violent, is what they've said. but it also got the rating of what was it, TV 14 or some whatever that rating is. I can't remember exactly if it's TV 14, but I know it has the 14 in it. But then again, people were showing like some of the shows that got that rating as well, and those were pretty violent. I'm pretty sure someone said The Walking Dead got that one. So that is okay with me. That's fine. Doesn't have to be like mature or anything like that. The 14 is probably fine, especially for a Disney Plus show. Can't really go like too violent. But again, some of the stuff that they were showing that got that same rating were pretty violent shows. So I guess that probably won't be a problem. But Moon Knight looks like it's going to be an amazing show as well. He's part of the Midnight Suns, like, comic universe, I guess. I don't really know how to word that. But where it's like him, I think it's Ghost Rider, the Punisher, I think Doctor Strange is in that one too, and Black Knight, I think, and Blade. I think there's like 6 people in it. I think those are the 6. And we know they're coming out with Blade. They're coming out with Moon Knight. They have Doctor Strange already. Black Knight was semi-introduced in the Eternals, and Blade was in his end credit scene. Ghost Rider they haven't done anything with, and they haven't announced anything with the Punisher, but based off of what they've done with Hawkeye and No Way Home, which I didn't talk about in No Way Home, bringing back Daredevil, they could be bringing back the Punisher soon. I don't know when or how, or even if it's going to be the same actor, which I think it should be. He's an amazing Punisher. So they have to figure out those 2 characters, I think. But yeah, so Moon Knight looks like it's going to be good. And then we'll go from that to Hawkeye, because Hawkeye is finished now. That was supposed to lead into No Way Home, I believe. Hawkeye was a good show. I don't have any problems with it at all, really. For those of you who didn't see it, it's Hawkeye training Kate Bishop, who he meets because she finds his Ronin outfit and takes it and beats the crap out of some people. And he tries to get it back because he wants to get rid of it because Ronin is gone now. He's dead. But then they get into trouble with this sweatsuit gang who ends up being led by Kingpin, who comes back from Daredevil with the same actor and everything. So that's why, I said what I said before. And then it ends on Christmas with Kate being with Clint. And then the Christmas leads into No Way Home. There was also Black Widow's sister in there. She was going after Clint because she was hired to, because he supposedly killed Natasha, even though it's not true. So that was interesting to see her come into there as well. I don't know what's going to happen with her character because she didn't kill Clint. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. But the woman from the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I forget her name right now. I'm blanking on it. But she's turning out to be quite evil. So, and I actually forgot about the ending to that show, to the Falcon and the Winter Soldier with what's his name? The fake Captain America there that killed someone. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen with his character as well, being led by her, who doesn't seem very good. But yeah, Hawkeye was good. I don't know how I rank the Marvel shows, really. Because they were all good. I don't have a problem really with any of them. I liked What If. I liked Loki. I liked WandaVision. I liked Hawkeye. And Loki, I think, starts filming season 2 this summer, I believe. Owen Wilson said he's returning. Obviously, Loki's returning. I don't know about Sylvie or, any of the other people in there. But Loki was good. I don't know. I think I probably liked WandaVision the best. And it's not by much. Like I said, I liked all of them. But there was something about just, going through the the eras that they did was cool. They had some cool like build-ups in that show. I mean, Loki was good too, but I feel like the build-ups weren't as big as WandaVision's were. Hawkeye's definitely wasn't, except for the King. Excuse me. Oh my God, the Kingpin episode. I really wasn't like dying to see the next episode of Hawkeye. I just wanted to see it because it was a good show. But and then What If? What If didn't really have build up because it wasn't really like following the same like universe. It was different universes, so it was kind of hard to get build up. But the episodes were really good, even though it was animated as well. But yeah, I would say WandaVision. It would probably go WandaVision, Loki, WandaVision, Loki, Hawkeye, What If, but like they're all like pretty close to each other, I guess. So yeah, that's how I would rank that. Now we'll go into Boba Fett, the Book of Boba Fett. That's been really good so far. The only thing that hasn't really made sense to me, and again, if you haven't watched it, don't listen. From right now. So yeah, the only thing I didn't really, it's not that, I guess I don't really like it because it's in the Book of Boba Fett, but as soon as they bring the Mandalorian back, Boba Fett's like not even in it. He's in it for those 2 episodes. I haven't seen the finale yet, so I still gotta figure that out, but, or I think it's the finale. I haven't seen the latest one. When they bring the Mandalorian back, I think he's in 2 or 3 episodes, I think. Boba Fett has like a minute of screen time. So that doesn't really make much sense to me. I think they should have just... Well, I don't know. Because what do you do with that? Because you can't do like a whole nother season of Mandalorian yet. Because it's just too soon of like a turnover to start doing that. Where you see Grogu and he's, training with Luke still, and that thing I really don't like, and I'm not the biggest Star Wars nut or fanatic. I like Star Wars. I mean, Marvel's higher to me than Star Wars is. So I'm not really, I don't have a good amount or a lot of knowledge on like the Star Wars like universe. So maybe I'm like stupid in saying this, but I didn't really like the fact that Luke is making Grogu choose between being a Jedi and being like, and just going to see like the Mandalorian. The whole episode, the Mandalorian, or one of the episodes, Mandalorian's trying to get back to Grogu to give him this like armor set or suit, whatever it is, as a gift, and he just wants to see him because it's been a while. But they don't let him see him. It's Ahsoka and Luke, which Luke didn't even know he was. Well, he knew he was there, but whatever. He didn't like talk to him specifically. But Ahsoka wouldn't let him go see him because he was like, if you see him, he's gonna get attached to you. He's gonna miss you. Blah 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 blah. And then Luke makes him decide between training to be a Jedi or taking the gift that the Mandalorian gave him. You can't do both, which makes no sense to me. I don't like that. I just don't like that whole thing with Star Wars where the attachment is the issue and blah 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 blah. Because whatever. I mean, honestly, in my opinion, and again, I'm not very knowledgeable on Star Wars, but Anakin went away from his mom to train to be a Jedi, if I'm not mistaken, and then his mom ends up dying, and that's kind of like, that's what Anakin's issue was. So you could argue that if he didn't become a Jedi, he would have been there with her. Like, again, I'm not very knowledgeable on this, so I mean, this is like, I don't know what this is like really, but that I just didn't like that. I don't like that they made him choose with that, which I did see the next episode after that, and he did choose the Mandalorian. So good for him. But again, he could have been like Yoda, because they're part of the same species or whatever that is. He could have been very helpful to be a Jedi, but you made him choose, and he chose the other one. So I mean, but again, that could change. Maybe he could, go back and be like, whatever. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see where that goes. So yeah, there's that. And then we're gonna get into some just announcements for movies and shows. We have the Transformers: Rise of the Beasts will be the first film in a new trilogy, so that'll be interesting to see. I love the old Transformers though with Shia LaBeouf. Those ones were all good, in my opinion. So it'll be interesting to see where they go with this one. Lord of the Rings: Rings of Power on Amazon is coming out in September. That show looks like it's going to be awesome as well. That had a Super Bowl ad or trailer that looked really good. The Halo series is premiering next month. I think on the 4th, I think on the 4th. And that series looks like it's gonna be really good. I'm not huge into Halo, but I'll definitely watch that show. I forget what that's coming out on. Is it Amazon? I think. No, it's Paramount. Paramount Plus is where you can see that. And then we have another Lord of the Rings series, but it's an anime series called Lord of the Rings: The War of the Rohirrim. I think that's how you say that. It's going to release April 21st, 2024, and it is set roughly 200 years before the Lord of the Rings movies. So that's going to be interesting. Then we have a Call of Duty movie, which sounds awesome, maybe in the works, and it's supposedly going to star Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. What character he will play, I have no idea. I skipped one here. We also have Jurassic World Dominion. The first trailer for it came out. Looks like it's going to be good. I haven't seen because this will be the third one, I believe, of this installment. I haven't seen the second one. So I got to go see the second, or I got to see the second one somehow before I see the third one. But the third one looks good. Brings back the old characters from the 90s Jurassic Park movies. So that'll be cool to see all them together again and working with Chris Pratt and, those characters in this new one. So that looks kind of cool. And then we have the Batman, which is coming out next month as well. And Moon Knight's coming out next month as well, too. The Batman looks like it's going to be good so far from what I've seen. Pattinson looks like he's doing a good job as Batman so far. We'll see when the movie comes out. But I am excited to see that as well. And now I'm just going to go over the Call of Duty standings so far for Vanguard, the Pro League, the CDL. After 2 weeks, 2 weeks of the regular season, we have FaZe at 3-0, or 3-0, sorry. We have the Surge at 3-0, which is kind of surprising, but they are nasty if you ever watch them play. London Royal Ravens, they are, I think, a pretty big surprise. They're 3-1. I think they have one game this weekend, I think. Because right now they have the most games, or they're tied for the most games played with the LA Guerrillas and Paris Legion. But right under them is Toronto Ultra at 2-1. Then we have the newest team to the CDL, Boston Breach, hometown team here. They're 2-1. They are tied with Toronto, and they are tied with the LA Thieves, who are also 2-1. Then you have the LA Guerrillas staying on their own right here at 2-2. And then you have Optic Texas and Minnesota Rocker tied at 1-2, which that's pretty low for them. Especially Optic. Optic was one of the teams that everyone thought was going to do really well. They started out pretty bad. Well, I guess I can't say that because both of the games that they lost, they went to map 5 round 11 and they lost. And then they 3-0'd, I think it was Paris this last weekend. So they figured some things out. Hopefully they can stay consistent for the rest of the year and get into the higher seedings for the majors. And then we have the Florida Mutineers on their own at 1-3. We have the New York Subliners at 0-3, and that one's kind of a disappointing team there. They've already made a team change or a roster change, and doesn't look like it worked out. A lot of people saying you didn't really do anything with the roster change. And then we have Paris Legion in last at 0-4. Paris Legion are struggling right now. Maybe they'll pick it up at some point. I mean, all these teams are very competitive. So we'll see if they have some matches. I mean, maybe they have some matches soon against like Florida, who's 1-3, or Rocker, who's 1-2, and get some wins against those teams. Maybe get their confidence up a little bit, and maybe they'll climb the rankings. But that's all I had for today. I don't know when I'll have another one, another episode. So I'm not going to guarantee anything with saying, I'll see you next week or anything like that, because I do start a new job next week. So, I should have some time to do episodes, but we'll just see how long, if I can do it, if I can fit it in my schedule or not. But I will be coming out with YouTube videos daily still, Monday through Friday. So stay tuned for those. And I have been announcing a new video that I was going to do on YouTube. I've been announcing it on Twitter, saying, new different videos coming on to the channel. But unfortunately, it doesn't look like I'm not going to be able to do that now, just because I've had some equipment stuff mess up. So instead of coming out this week, it will come out in the future at some point, in a few weeks, probably. So I guess still stay tuned for that. Just don't expect it, this week or next week. Yeah, I think that's all I got in the works. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe down below, and I will see you guys in the next one.